All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run video. Today's kind of a no-brainer, but you know what? I think a lot of people still need the lesson, and yeah. So we're going to be talking about attack up heroes, all right? That's what we're going to be discussing, and some of the easier ones to get and some of the harder ones to get. But yeah, why is attack up necessary? Well, because attack up makes your damage dealers do more damage. Like it's kind of simple to think about, but a lot of times I think what happens in raid is that people will essentially see an attack up hero and think that just bringing another damage dealer would be a better option. And you know what? A lot of times it's actually not. So let's take a look and see what champions do it and if they do it well. So we're going to go in here. We're going to filter this. We're going to include my master vault so we can see some of the other heroes that are available. And we are going to go into buffs. And we're going to start with the low end attack up. All right. Hide this. So here we go. What does low end attack up mean? Well, it means that their skill basically does an attack up. So let's see. Places a 30% increased defense buff and a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Thurgist. So Thurgist is basically an early game hero that you can get. The attack up is good enough. I mean, 25% attack up is better than no attack up. You know what I mean? So it's something that she's really good with. She also does the defense up, which kind of puts her in a position that's a little bit better than some heroes because she can increase your defense and your attack. So it's not the worst thing ever that you're getting a 25% attack. You would think it wouldn't be as good, and honestly, sometimes it isn't, but sometimes that extra defense is all you need to get through a fight. And she also has block buffs, and she can fill turn meter. So kind of an interesting hero. I actually use her more than you would expect, and I used her in. We actually beat Phantom Shogun with Thurgist on the team. Funny enough. So there you go. And it was mainly because of this blessing. It's not because she's awesome. I mean, she's good, but she's not like amazing. Let's take a look at who else does this. All right. Well, guess what? This one's a little weird because it increases attack on himself only. However, Fleshmonger does have defense down. He was on one of the last videos, but we're not going to talk about him so much because he doesn't do it for everyone else. So yeah, we're not going to get into Fleshmonger. Valerie. So Valerie's got an interesting skill. All right. She increases the duration of all buffs on all allies, also decreases the duration of all debuffs on all allies, and places a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. So yeah, this is an amazing skill. So essentially you're just going to make all of your buffs last longer and you're going to increase attack. So it's kind of a nice little bonus. She is on my team that beat Ultra Nightmare, and I mean beat it like in 1 turn so that we could get through and now do it as a speed team. It was literally Valerie that got me there. How funny is that? Like I was messing with so many teams, and then one day I was like, you know what? What's wrong with Valerie? And I put Valerie on the team, and then after a couple of months, we were able to figure it out, and it worked. And we ended up doing 39 point, like we literally just beat it. It was like 39 point, like 9 or 39.6 or something like that. We did million damage on Nightmare. So yeah, she was good for that. Now, if you don't have any team in there with a buff, then maybe she's not your option. You know what I mean? If you don't have a bunch of buffs on your team for clan boss, then and you're just going for damage, like poisons and all that other stuff, then Valerie may not help you. But for my team, she did help. And if you want, there's plenty of videos you can watch where she does that. He does an increased attack on all allies, Mr. Master Butcher. He also places a 15% increased crit rate buff. All right, but he also provokes at the same time. So he gets 3 different things that go on. The only downside to him is he doesn't do much. Like that's it. He's very specific for like things like Bommel or when you need a hero that just doesn't die. We use him, I think, in what was it, Griffin. So yeah, he's an okay hero as far as like the things he does, but the things he does are really good. But that one skill is worth it because he provokes, he increases your crit rate and your buffs, your attack. So there you go, awesome hero. Now, Candleguard is selfish. I believe she only increases her own attack. Yeah, increases attack and crit rate on this champion. So she's a selfish buffer, but at least she buffs herself. Who knows? Same thing with Aethel. Doesn't do it for everyone. Basically just good for herself. You've got Abyssal, who can do, I think it's, what is it, defense up and attack up on all allies. So this, but he also has heals and he has a regen. So it's kind of nice. And you're getting, once again, defense up and attack up. So it could be a good use. The first one you ever get in the whole game, because they give it to you for free, unless for some reason you started summoning a bunch of heroes. I don't know how you would do it, but yeah, War Priest. She has this skill right here. Increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. It's it. It's about as simple as it gets. There's nothing else really important on her. The heal is nice, and she does stay alive a lot. And that little freeze can save you like 1 out of 10 fights. It'll save your life. But other than that, yeah, 25% attack up, not bad. Magister, same thing, I think. Places an increased attack buff on a random ally. So he does it one at a time if you want someone. It's good for like random stuff. Um, Same thing with, there's another hero you're going to see in a little bit that does the same thing. It's his regular attack will just keep popping up attack ups. So in some respects, it could be better than an attack up because every round you're getting an attack up, but it also means one hero. So if you made him real fast, then maybe that's a little bit better. Cudgler. Let's see. What does he do? Increase attack and counter attack on this champion. So once again, selfish attack up hero. Ironclad, I think, is the same thing. Nope, it's attack up on all allies. So you could use Ironclad. He's a little bit of an interesting character because he also deals damage equal to any time he's healed over his HP. So he's got an interesting kit, but it requires very specific things and it requires a healer that can heal him a lot. So yeah, maybe like a crit apothecary, and he gets healed, and then he just kills things. So that could be an option. We'll see how that goes, right? Trugger, he does an increased attack on himself. So once again, very, very selfish hero, but he is cool. I can't wait to get him to 6-star. Not gonna lie, I kind of like him. All right, we've got Miscord. I always want to call her Miscordia. So places counterattack buff and a 25% increased attack buff on this champion. So once again, selfish hero, but hey, you never know. It could be useful. All right, now Gator. Increase attack on all allies. So that's another good hero you could bring in for the early game. Hey, I mean, 25%. Once again, like I said, same thing with Vagabond. 25% up, right? I think it's 25% on everybody. Yeah, attack buff and fills turn meters. So she's actually kind of good for that. So if you do pull Vagabond, she's not a terrible choice. You've got Mr. Rotting Mage, which places an attack up buff on all allies and a 30% increased defense buff on this champion. So selfish defense, not so selfish with attack. Then we've got Blood Painter, who attacks all enemies. Not bad, right? Poisons. But then fills a turn meter of all allies except this champion and places 25% increased attack buff on all allies. So once again, they're going to get attack and they're going to get buff. Arcanist is actually pretty cool. Another one that does increase attack and crit rate buff on all allies. So yeah, you could use her early game if you pull her. And then there's Nomad. Yeah, I know. Nomad. 25% attack buff for 2 turns on an ally for 1 turn. So if I had to pick one, it definitely would not be her. All right, let's go into the next set. This one. This is the one that's going to have a lot more strong heroes. So do we need to even talk about Mithrala? Is that even important? She does increase defense by 60% and increase attack by 50%. Once you get her, she's literally one of the best heroes in the game. So yeah, definitely focus on trying to get her from the Hydra. But as long as you're getting 1 or 2 pieces a week, eventually you get her. You know what I mean? So just keep trying to get her. That's it. Just keep doing Hydra. It sucks, but all you need is an HP burn hero, and you should be halfway there already. Arbiter, another one. Attack up and increases the turn meters of all allies and heals everyone by 25% of their max HP if they have less than 50% HP. So she's really good as a secondary healer, but also for her attack up. Really good hero. We've got attack up, increased attack buff, and 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion. So Scion is selfish, only giving it to everyone else. Same thing with Dark Elhain. She only does it to herself. I believe it is on here. No, so here we go. Places increased attack buff on this champion. And that's whenever she uses her AoE, so she does a lot more damage. But the good news is every time she does her AoE damage, guess what? She gets 30% attack. So the selfish thing, although is annoying because it's only for one hero, sometimes it works in their favor, like her, because she's always going to have attack up, basically. You've got our girl here, Lady Erish. Where's her thing? She does increase attack by 50% and 30% increase crit damage buff on this champion. Once again, this still is okay because she does it to herself and then she grants herself an extra turn, which means she can come in and just wipe the floor with her AoE. So yeah, something cool about that. Says Mr. C's, he does increase 50% attack buff on this champion for 2 turns if the attack is critical. So every time he crits, he's giving himself a 50% increase in attack. So yeah, who cares if it's selfish? It's basically, it's a freebie is what it is. And the best plus 50% hero in the game, Spirit Host. increases attack by 50% on all allies. And she's farmable, and you can get her in the fourth stage of the game, which means you can literally have her the first day of the game if you farm. So, amazing hero. She has a speed lead, so you can make your team a little bit faster if you need to. And she doesn't die because she heals herself. So, there you go. She heals herself, and then you can put some healing stuff on her for her attack, and you can give her a bolster set, which also gives her more healing. So, she just keeps healing herself and very rarely dies. War Maiden, another hero that is essentially kind of selfish on the attack up. She does it when it's and places an extra hit if the attack is critical. The extra hit can't be critical. So basically, she gets an extra attack and 50% plus damage. So that's kind of nice. Here's the other one I was talking about on his A1. He has a 25% chance of placing a 50% increase attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. How cool is that? Like, just for throwing it up. Boom. But the problem is, I think it has a 25% chance per hero. So basically, you have a 75% chance of it not landing on any one of your heroes. But every single round, you have a chance for everyone to get a 50% increase in attack. So, hey, who can fight that? We have, where is her skill? So she places increase attack buff on this champion. So she's also selfish, but it's also another one of those crit damage, attack up, and grants an extra turn, which means she gets all of her damage buffs and then basically fights. They might as well have just gotten rid of the skill and just made it so that she does those things before her main attack. I mean, it probably would have been about the same thing. Relic Keeper, he's the same thing. He's selfish but weird. He increases his attack by 50% for 4 turns and then grants an extra turn. So once again, really great for him, not great for anyone else. We've got Flesh Eater. All right, he does an increased attack buff on all allies, so once again, could be a really good option. The turns is 4 turns on the attack up, so that's the only reason Spirit Host just kind of kills it. I mean, her attack up is at 3 turns, so yeah, really good. We've also got Temptress, who does an attack up and crit rate buff on this champion for 2 turns, grants an extra turn when Seducer is on the same team. I don't have Seducer, so that would probably never be exciting for me, but hey, you never know. And then we've got Spikehead. Yeah, he's terrible. It places a 15% increased crit rate buff and 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Now, why is this important? I figured we would show you all these heroes. Well, let's look. Dungeons, campaign. So now if you're, let's just say you're a Nightmare, all right? And you're going to go in and you're about to do Nightmare stage 1. All right, here you go. You got your HP, you got your man. You want to farm it for somebody. This is what you're going to do. So, what is that, 30K we're seeing? 30K. There you go. Now, obviously, my Kale is stronger than where yours may be at this time, and that was a little ridiculous. But we're seeing 30K. Now, let's just say your hero is not that strong. Let's edit the team. Who do we got that we can bring in here that is not going to be as strong? Let's see if he can do it. Now, he has no buff. He also can't bring his stuff back. He can't heal himself, so he's not going to be that strong. All right. I wanted somebody who's gonna basically get his butt kicked. Because I'm curious myself. All right, so he healed himself back up. Oh, look at that. He's just popping people in the face. Boom. So now he's dead. He made it to the 3rd round, which is surprising considering. 1, 2. Oh, he actually made it. All right, so let's just try it now with him. We'll pull him here. Now, let's just say we bring in someone like Spirit Host, all right, who's fast, who's going to give us more speed and attack up, all right, because she's definitely faster than him. So there's attack up, and now we've got, look at that. How much easier was that? And we have the shield buff, which is kind of nice. He's doing 40K hits instead of 20 plus. That 50% attack up, man. It's definitely, it's the breakfast of champions is what it is. Ooh, shot in the face. Now remember, you can do these with 2 heroes. You're allowed to do Nightmare with 2 heroes to get the 3-star. So there you go. There was no problems with that. You see what I mean? Now, granted, you could just bring a second hero in, but having that attack up essentially makes it so that Outrider doesn't die anymore. All right, there's no chance. He's just going to keep going, and it gives you a second hero, which gives you the opportunity to put on a shield, do other things to make sure your team can stay alive. But yeah, he was fine, literally fine the whole time. All right, let's get out of here. Um, then when we go into things like the arena, here we go. So let's look at a team. We'll refresh this because I know there was nothing in there last time I looked. All right, so here's a good team. So first, we're going to go in here with a normal team. So let's just say I bring in my normal team. Take these guys out. Trying to think what I would do. So we would bring in like a War Maiden, right, for your defense down. You have your attack up, and I'm sorry, you have your defense down. We'll bring Apothecary to speed up the team, and then we would now normally you would have your defense down and your attack up, but we're not going to have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a secondary damage dealer that could possibly do something. Let's try this. All right, so they're not faster than us because we have Apothecary. So now we speed up. All right, we do defense down. And we do freezing. Look at that, 19,000. So there's like almost no damage being taken to this team right now. It's crazy. The question is it going to matter? We don't know. We honestly don't know. We're going to take her out a little bit. Take her out to dinner. All right, we're going to pop some heroes. I honestly don't want to win, so I kind of want to lose now so we can see, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Let's see. Let's see if we can force a loss. We'll just keep fighting her. I don't know if we're bad enough to lose this fight. I don't know if we're bad enough. But you see how much longer this fight is taking? Of course he froze her. Yes, we're literally just A1ing ourselves to victory. So there you go. All right. That was without an attack up. Now, if we go in and try to find a team that has... Here, this looks like a good one. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to switch her out. We're going to bring her to the back. All right. He's going to be our nuker. And then we're going to need attack up. So now what we'll do is we'll bring in... Who can do an attack up that we don't normally use? Who is it that we wanted to use? Well, whatever. We'll bring Mithrala. Actually, no, we won't. We'll bring in Arbiter because it's a speed team, and this is a much stronger team. So now we've got defense down. We've got our main hitter. Now we're going to go in and see how much different this goes. All right, so now we're going to speed everyone up, which we don't actually need. We're going to do attack up. We have defense down, so hopefully that lands. All right, we got it on Syl, so that's fine. And then we do this. So there, you already saw that Syl died. She got 20K. So yeah, much better situation for the arena because now you can kick the crap out of people. We're going to make sure she dies because it's important to our story. There you go. Look how much more damage done, how much easier this is going down. You know what I mean? Now we can steal her turn meter. Look at that, 59. But you see the difference? It's like just having that attack up with the defense down, since we just did a defense down video a couple weeks ago, the attack up is what's going to make this work a lot better. All right, especially in the arena. Arena it's a playground for attack up. All right, you need your heroes to hit as hard as you can, as quick as you can, and that's really where the attack up is going to come into play. Now, as far as dungeons go, let's go into dungeons. So if you're going to be doing attack up, you're probably going to be using it in most of these fights, except for the ones where you need to be a little more defensive. But Dragon's a pretty good example of needing it. We did beat it with this team, I think, but let's get him out of there. So we've got an attack up hero. All right, we've got a defense down, which we'll bring in Pig Boy now. All right. We'll bring in someone else who does attack up. Who do I have? Who do we want to use that does attack up? That would be, I mean, Mithrala is your best bet here, but we'll use her. So we'll use her. So this is the low end version. Okay, we've got defense down, we've got attack up, we've got every time I say that, defense down, attack up. That's the way we kill dragons. So really the only thing in here you would probably want to be bringing is a reviver. And for this scenario, what we'll do is we will bring in another attack up hero because why not, right? So this is our these are our two damage dealers basically. She's not terrible, but this is going to be stage 20. We're going to do a super raid because I want to see if this works. And we're going to let this auto. So now we've got attack up and defense down. And look at that. He did 42K on the ad, popping him in the face. And we're getting 50% attack ups as my boy over there starts doing attacks. Now we should bring a... I should have brought a reviver, which is what I was actually considering, because we can't have anyone dying. There we go. More defense down. Actually, we have a reviver. I don't know what I'm talking about. It didn't even matter. Let's say my guy here is a reviver. Blocking buffs. He's not doing nothing. Let's see if we get our attack up again. We got defense down. And then we didn't get any attack ups on that, which is bad. Speeding it up. That guy just died in 3 seconds. Look at that. Now we have our attack up. Hopefully Kale will do some stuff. He's going to speed up our team. Oh, they killed my pig man. Too bad he is invincible. Look at that. He's back and ready to be a pig man again. Oh, they're all dead. But you see what I mean? We also have a team on this team, someone who can remove buffs. So, once again, very useful for this fight. Especially for like some of the fighters from some of the waves where you have block damage and some other things. Having a hero who can remove buffs from them is also super helpful. There you go. Now we're on to the boss, Mr. Dragon. Now it's going to be a little bit of a longer fight, but you know what? It's fine. The whole point here is that we're set. You know what I mean? That we can stay alive, not really worry about if someone dies because we have a reviver, Grinner. Now this is a combo of attack up heroes. So we've got Pig Boy who can do attack up for himself. We've got a 25% increase in attack from Thurgist, so that it's like a nice group attack. And then we've got a 50% increase attack from Grinner whenever he attacks with A1. So you're constantly getting attack ups, whether it's the right one or not. I mean, I probably wouldn't bring in all three of these guys together. I would probably take Thurgist out. Mainly because she's going to do attack up for 25%, which isn't as good. But even with the attack up 25%, like I almost exclusively use Spirit Host or Mithril at this point. Like those are the only two heroes that I really use for attack up at this point, unless there's just another option where I can't use them or I'm limited in some way. But as you can see, these guys are able to handle it. I mean, these are all rares. We've got all rare heroes just banging around stage 20. They're like, yeah, we don't need anything. They don't need anything else because you're essentially taking your team that is not good and making them good by adding attack ups and defense downs. All right. That's basically what you're doing in this game. The more you can buff even a bad hero, it's the more that you can get through a fight. All right. And once again, I was having troubles getting through stage 20. Like it was rough. Like we didn't get through stage 20 I think until we had Syl. Like we were using a legendary hero thinking that was the only option. And honestly, just keeping your team alive, having the defense up from Thurgist just by itself is worth the bringing her because that way people don't die as much. Fleshmonger, obviously he got killed because they targeted him. He's probably the lowest HP hero. He also doesn't have a lot of defense versus the other heroes that are on this team. Kale is built more defensively for his poisons. Grinner is built defensively because he's this, support hero. Same thing for Thurgist and Apothecary. And they still put up numbers. I mean, look at that. 350 on Apothecary, 401 on Thurgist, 721 on Grinner. I don't know why I said it like that. 721 on Grinner. Breaker 2000. We got Grinner with 721,000 HP. I hope you enjoy it. Fleshmonger 852, and then Kale obviously 1.7 million because he's a monster. But he was already a monster. And then when you drop the defense, he's even bigger monster. And then you increase his attack power. Oh, he's a beast of burden. All right, let's see. What any other ones here? All right, so here's a good example. Let's go in here, stage 10. This is an area that we do. All right, and this is my team. Once again, attack up. All right, we have an attack hero in the lead now. Okay, so the reason we did that is because now we have an increase of 33% attack in all battles. So now we've got 33% attack increase. We've got 50% increase in attack, and then she can increase her own attack, and he can increase his own attack. So she's the only one that's not going to be doing any of that. So let's just see. Now you can really see how attack can grow and grow and grow in this game just by switching out which hero's the leader and which heroes are doing their thing. Look at that. 120k across the board, 65 from Mr. Pig Boy, 190,000 power hit coming from Gwyneth, and then boom, look at that. 100k AoE. Now we're going for more attack up. Boom, he missed his crit. I don't want him to miss his crit because that ruined it. Look at that. Ooh, 140,000 damage from Mr. Yukaro popping in there like it was his frickin' job. Edit team. Now I'm curious. I'm always curious about things. Let's see, who do we got? Does he attack up in dungeons? All right, so now let's just say we bring the dog in. All right. This is going to be a much different fight. Less attack, and we're also not using your Carl that has a giant AoE. Whether or not that's important or not, you'll see. Now, this dog is not as strong and also doesn't have her AoE. I would bring in both dogs if I was going to use this dog. But now look, boom. So we're still getting those big hits. In case you were like, oh, I don't have Jakarl. Like, it's not the end of the world, is what I'm saying. I don't know if I would have brought him in, actually. I probably should have brought Aethel. Dark Aethel, because she's a hero that everyone gets pretty quickly on. And Gwyneth's kind of a later game hero, but that's fine. She has an AoE and her A1, which makes it so that she can do more damage. But as you can see, it's going to take a little bit longer just by replacing that one hero. Here's the thing with legendaries. They're better than other heroes. Like, that's most of the time. They're usually better than most heroes, but if you don't have that, it's not the end of the world. Let's edit the team. Let's take her out and keep moving on. Let's do it again. Let's do... All right, Spirit Host. And now Spirit Host is our attack up hero. We've got a doggo here. Now, what happens if you don't have her? You'll probably still have her, so whatever. We'll try it out. But we'll bring the other doggo in. Let's make sure both dogs are happy. So now we've got attack up. We've got attack up 50%, attack up. He does a crazy amount of damage. But now we're bringing two AoEs to the fight that weren't there before, because they have their special attack now because both dogs are in the fight. All right. So now the only epic in here at this point is Dark Elhain. Let's see what he does. Oh, look at that. 70k on a rare. Love him. Boom, 110. Now she's going to waste a turn by doing that dumb stuff. Let's see what he does with his regular attack. So now he's got the crit rate up too, so he's going to constantly hit. Now these guys are going to hit pretty hard, my regular dog. Here we go. Let's see what he does here with this single hit. Oh, look at that. 120,000 with his extra skills. See? Boom. And everybody gets Dark Elhain early on. And remember, this is stage 10. This isn't to show you that you can do this on every stage. This is just to show you that when you're farming and trying to do things, you're gonna break this team down eventually. Like, now we're gonna take her out. All right, and then we'll put Kale in. All right, let's do it again. Boom. This is just to show you that just because your hero's a legendary, it doesn't mean you can't beat it. It just means you're gonna beat it 30 seconds longer than you beat it with the legendary. That's essentially the difference, okay? And Kale's actually really strong in here, so you're going to see that he's kind of rough, kind of a monster also, versus the other heroes. Definitely nowhere near as good as Gwyneth. Gwyneth is going to be a monster because she just does like almost $200,000, almost 200,000 damage. I wish it gave me $200,000 in one hit. So she's kind of a beast, and so is Yukaro. Yukaro is got an awesome boost and can do tons of damage, but once again, 38 seconds versus 19 seconds. Like, does that really matter in the grand scheme of things? I mean, it matters if you're going to farm it 100 times in a day, but it doesn't matter in the long term. All right, you can do these things and just keep. I should do this kind of thing all the time. Just put in a team that I beat things with and then slowly chip away at it and show you which heroes can do the same exact job but are not legendaries. And actually, that might be a good idea. So I'm glad I had that idea, guys. Way to go on that one. All right, so yeah, that's basically the gist of Attack Up. It is so good for every aspect of this game. There's very few fights. Like I think the only ones that really come to mind that are not good for Attack Up, and it's not even that they're not good, they kind of punish you for it. Would be like I think it's what is it, Bommel? Does he do that? It's Bommel, I think, right? That messes. Yeah, if you have buffs up, he will drop more bombs on you and things like that. Like that, there's small things like that that will cause Attack Up to be a problem. But other than that, 90% of this game, attack up, defense down. Like that's it. Attack up, defense down. That's it. Just keep get that. Do that every single day. When you wake up before you play raid, say to yourself, attack up, defense down. Attack up, defense down. And you will be able to get through almost any content in this game. So this is mainly, especially for like early game players, having Spirit Host on your team. There's a reason I tell everyone to build her, and it's because her attack up 50% makes Kale a freaking monster, and he will just destroy all of campaign, like all the way even into, as you just saw, into Nightmare, like probably up to stage 4 or 5. He can handle it by himself with Spirit Host. I think we might have even gone further in some of the videos. So yeah, those two are monsters. They're just awesome heroes. Awesome, awesome heroes. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about Attack Up and how things work, feel free to let me know in the comments below if you have a hero that you specifically use. Because remember, these are only heroes that I personally own and I use more often than not. Spirit Host, Mithrala, Arbiter, those are pretty much the most common attack up heroes that I use outside of the single target damage dealers that will increase their own attack. That's a situation that is good. And once again, this champion, uh, was it Dark Aethel, or is she? You can thank me for that, right? You can use her for this too. See, she has attack in all battles as a lead as well. So you could bring her in for fights like that and get yourself an attack up if you do have her in the first few months. So she's literally handed to you guys. So she's handed right to you guys. You don't even have to work hard for her. They just say, "Hey, here you go. Here's an attack up hero that does a bunch of AoEs." Is she the best hero in the game now? But she definitely worked really well early for me in Spider, so that's kind of nice. All right, but once again, if you have any questions, comments, things, leave them below. All right, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You help the channel grow. We do a live stream every single week. And if you want to become a member for $1.99 a month, you can. It is more to support the channel. It's not really anything crazy. You get some emojis. You get to see my videos at any time you want as soon as I post them. And you get a free video every week that has no commercials. All right, so this is the Wild West world of Attack Up. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd. And you guys take care.